This is not intended as a full review or analysis, but rather a brief discussion of some of the themes touched upon in the film and in Molière's work in general. Shakespeare in Love was much admired for its clever combination of historical fact, transposition of character, and imagined biographical detail. And Molière uses a similar conceit, taking characters, events and issues from Molière's canon of work and reimagining them as elements of Molière's own life, which will go on to inspire him in his writing. Initially well received by critics and public alike, the film went on to be criticised, at least in the UK and the USA, for being a little shallow. Criticism I find somewhat ironic and largely unjustified, as Molière accuses himself of just such a fault quite early in the film, and the film goes on to take shallowness as one of its themes, and ultimately addresses this issue more than adequately in my opinion. Personally, I found Molière amusing, involving, of considerable historical interest and very entertaining. It brings a celebrated author and the content and context of his plays to life. It would be short-sighted to consider that the 17th century setting of Molière's work means that it is not relevant to today. Molière's reading of human nature and society is so acute that he sees beyond the immediate context of his play and touches on universal themes and problems, though his work and style are undoubtedly less familiar to British and American audiences than those of Shakespeare. Human and fun to watch, the film explores themes such as an examination of social strata and class superiority, the value of sincerity and genuine emotion as opposed to adopting manners or airs and graces in order to please others or to try and advance socially, religious zealotry and how principle can be manipulated to achieve one's own ends, and the vagaries of parental interference in children's lives, to name but a few of the themes touched upon. The bourgeois or middle classes aspiring to the heady heights of the aristocracy, who in turn are doing their best to avoid the depths of having to work in order to maintain their lifestyle, can surely be simply replaced with different players aspiring to different positions in today's society. The fundamental truth remains that there are some who fawn to those they consider superior and will do whatever they feel is necessary to charm their way into their good graces, even to the point of sacrificing their dignity and self-respect. And there are those who treat their social inferiors with contempt, but are perfectly willing to profit by these people's efforts and goodwill. Religious zealots can be seen as any group claiming moral, spiritual or intellectual superiority, yet who manage to improve their own physical lot along the way, without contributing anything of particular value to the society they criticise. Molière clearly invites us to consider a person's true worth, value and place in society, to value what is genuine and not to take people or position at face value. According to the film, Molière aspired to be regarded as a great writer, someone with things to say about life, but he himself does not recognise the value of comedy in the drive toward fulfilling his aim, as he regards it as light and frivolous. He appears to believe serious points can only truly be made through serious drama and tragedy, dramatic forms for which he has little or no talent. Molière is presented as a man dogged by a sense of his own lack of worth or value. Success is not enough. He wishes to leave behind something meaningful and of merit. Yet he is given hope and inspiration by one he loves and respects as she is about to die. He is given a new perspective and insight into the possibility that through his comedy he can indeed deliver a meaningful and worthwhile message and a commentary on society and life. Pointing out various individuals' foibles, and therefore those in society in general, in a witty and entertaining manner can perhaps be more engaging and thus be more effective than a serious play on the same theme. Man's nature is examined indirectly through a comedy of manners and social etiquette. The plays admired by Molière undoubtedly contain many truths and insights into human nature, often exaggerated or taken to the extreme for dramatic effect, but Molière's plays remain accessible to viewers and readers. There is a familiarity and comfort in his settings, situations and issues, and viewers and readers are more likely to identify with these events and characters, ultimately perhaps lending them greater personal appeal and value than other more serious works. This film really brought Molière's world alive for me. The historical context and pervading humanity allow the viewer to enjoy and appreciate Molière's work with a fresh eye. Emotionally engaging as well as entertaining, I thoroughly enjoyed all the performances, though especially Fabrice Luchini and Romain Duris, who managed to be amusing and touching, much like the film as a whole, as befits a work inspired by the works of Molière. And the whole is gift-wrapped in sumptuous and rousing music by Frédéric Talgorn. My thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it of some value.